Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting Sparks Toyota, and I'm checking out a 2018 Toyota Tacoma in the TRD Pro trim level. So this is the highest trim level in the Tacoma in the 2018 year model, and it has a ton of features to show off. So let's go ahead and check it out. This Tacoma is sitting on 265/70 Goodyear Wrangler tires, wrapped around 16-inch alloy wheels painted black with the red TRD emblem there in the center. It also has ventilated disc brakes in the front and drum brakes in the back. In addition to the TRD front skid plate and TRD exhaust, it also has TRD tuned Fox internal bypass shocks. The Toyota Safety Sense has a pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, lane departure alert, sway warning, automatic high beams, and a dynamic radar cruise control. This vehicle also has a blind spot monitor system with rear cross traffic alert. The name of this color is Cavalry Blue, and this is the first time for me to see a TRD Pro in this color. So it's a clear day, so hopefully the sun will, and the camera is able to convey the color properly. It's very interesting, a little bit different than the normal blue you see on vehicles, but it looks fantastic. Okay, so looking here at the front, you can see it has a little scoop here on the hood with the decal right behind it, emphasizing it, I suppose. The grille, everything is a matte black, except for the Toyota name. That's in a metallic silver, it looks like. Now you have the radar sensor located right below it, a little bit discreetly right in here, but not a, you can kind of tell it's a little bit reflective compared to the rest of the surfaces there. There's your skid plate. Now it has tow hooks located kind of discreetly here, there and here on the left and right. And check it out, LED Rigid Industries LED fog lights that are super bright. And the headlights are powered by halogen bulbs in a projector housing for your low beams, and for your high beams, a reflector. It also has LED daytime running lights there on the sides. Okay, so let's move around here to the profile of the truck. So you can see the fender flares are a matte black, and you have the matte black right in here, kind of putting together the glass, I suppose you can say. Also, the front glass has been tinted by the dealer, which is good because it kind of, emphasizes that look. The rear glass is a privacy glass from the factory. Now I really like the red on the TRD, not only on the wheels, but also on the badging here on the side. It really pops out when you look at it. And then you have the body color here on the top of the side mirror as well. And body colored handles. This is what the key looks like. It's a traditional type key with the lock and unlock buttons here on the key fob and a panic button. Then you have your emblem on the other side. This is the inside of the front passenger door. Everything's all black here except for the chrome handle. Now, this is a soft to the touch surface from here all the way up, kind of contours around your arm and all the way up to the top. Now, this is a textured type vinyl material that is a little bit, it's kind of a grippy type material, I guess you can say. The rest of the door is the hard plastics, even right up in here. And then you have a handle that it's all enclosed right in here with a little felt lining, so you can use that as a storage pocket. And then you have your bottle holder and like storage space there in the door. Here's your threshold, and you have manually adjusted leather trim seats that look awesome, and they're comfortable, really comfortable. Okay, so you have the red contrast stitchings here on the seat in a French design. You also have the center portion is textured, but this is a large texturing here that you can actually feel it. It's hard to explain. It's just a really neat feeling surface, I guess. So when you're sitting in the seat, it allows you to kind of slide back and forth without being like stuck to the leather or whatever, especially on hot days. And then you have that contrast stitching there on the sides. And then you have the TRD Pro embroidered in the headrest there, looking pretty cool. Very impressive looking seats. Okay, so there's your leg room. I'm going to put all the measurements and, you know, leg room and hip room and all that stuff in the description, but just to give you a visual idea of what it's like here. You can see there's very little tapering going on where your feet go, and then the floor mat hooks in place in 2 places. You have some more of that textured vinyl soft to the touch surface right in here, and then you have a hard dash. It also has a handle to help you get in and out, and a locking glove compartment has the Tacoma name right in here. Look how big it is too. I mean, it's like a non-traditional, I guess, as far as the way it's designed. It's just like an open shelf with the flat bottom, so you can put stuff in there, stack it up, and then the little rear door there is for your cabin filter. Okay, so looking at the openings of the door, the front door is a little bit bigger this way, but the back door, you notice that the door itself swings out almost to a 90-degree angle to help you get in and out of the vehicle. So that's really nice. Okay, so here's the inside of the door. It's just like the front basically, with that textured vinyl material right here and the rest of the hard surfaces. The back seat is a bench seat that's a 60-40 split, and there's a couple things you can, storage options here, and I'll show you in just a minute. But looking at the seat itself, is that same textured here portion here in the center portion, and then the smooth leather here on the ends. Contrast stitching in red, has the latch system for the car seats. Gives you some cup holders that you can share with the driver and passenger, I suppose. You also have a pocket here on the back of the front seat, here on the passenger side only. A little bit of a hump there on the center portion, but it is flat on top. So the headrests, you notice they interfere with your visibility in the back. They cover up the glass a little bit. So you can actually take them and flip them down like so. So that helps out a little bit with your visibility. You can also, of course, remove them completely, but then you might have to find a place for them. Now, if you do remove them completely, you can fold the seats down, and I'll show you that in just a second. But let's just look at the place behind the seat. So you have this pretty good sized storage compartment behind both seats, so you can put whatever you want, and it has a little bag holder here on the corner, so you can hook something there, hang it down into that compartment. The back of the seats are a hard plastic, so that way, you know, whatever you put back here is not going to, you know, damage it, I suppose. And also, that's your cargo surface. Now, lift this portion up. So when you lift this up, there's a storage compartment under here. Now notice the seat belts fall down, so you'll have to reposition the seat belts when you put it back in place. This lifts up, and there's your storage compartment. It's partially taken up with the tools for your spare tire, but you notice it goes all the way to the other side as well. And you can flip these seats. See, that seat is still functional for passengers. So I can fold this seat down, take the headrest out, fold it down, and then that way I have this cargo surface. And so I have a cargo surface and I can utilize the storage space behind it all at the same time, while still maintaining passenger space. So I could do this on one side or the other, or both sides depending on my needs, and add to my cargo space while still maintaining some passenger space. Okay, so moving our way around to the back. So there at the very top of the cab, you have the little shark fin antenna and a cargo light just below it, powered by LEDs. A power sliding rear glass, which I'll show you that when we get inside the vehicle. All right, so it has parking sensors across the back. These little circles here. Taillights are powered by, standard bulbs. Here's your tow hitch, towing package with the 4- and 7-way outlets. Now you notice the outlets are above the bumper here, so that way they stay a little bit cleaner, they're easier to access, and just a really good spot to put them in my opinion. There's a backup camera located right here, a little bit offset, but you can still, it really helps out with backing up to a trailer especially. Now the tailgate is locking. You will need to use the key to lock it manually. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the tailgate. Now, I'm just gonna simply pull on the handle here and just let it flop down. You'll see that it's assisted, so it actually goes down slow. The bed of this truck is a composite bed, so it's a synthetic material throughout, and it has your tie downs on each corner. The front two are higher position than the rear, and then you have this cleat system, so you can have a tie down anywhere along that rail, and the cleats are actually in the back of the truck, back seat of the truck. You also have these little storage spaces here that you can put some stuff in there, close them up. You have another one here on the right side, and you also have a power inverter in this truck, so you can plug in and power whatever 400 watts will power. It's up to 400 watts, but it's a 3-prong, just like you'd find in your house. And lifting the tailgate is assisted as well, so it's a little bit easy. It's pretty easy to lift up. Fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it has a traditional cap with a tether here, and you just take the tether and put it right through there. Keeps it out of your way while you're pumping gas. I'll give you another point of view here for the back seat here on the other side. Check out the storage space behind the seat. You can see it's just like the other side basically. And let's lift this up so we can see how much room you have here. This truck has a blind spot monitor system, and the indicator is on the side mirror there. See that little car? And that will illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. Now, the sensor is somewhere back in this area, and it detects vehicles here in your blind spot up to 1 car length behind the truck. So that way, if there's somebody there, then it'll illuminate that light. But also, it's a rear cross traffic alert system. In other words, as you're backing out of a parking space, let's say you're perpendicularly parked like these vehicles here, and you're backing out of a parking space, then you may not be able to see around the vehicles next to you. Well, if there's a vehicle coming from either direction is going to illuminate that system on the side mirror that is appropriate for the particular side that the vehicle is coming. So let's go ahead and start it up, put the key in. This is a manual transmission, so we're going to push the clutch and start it up. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You see the floor mat hooks in place. There's your accelerator, brake, and clutch pedals. Just under here you have a button to reset the tire pressure monitor system. Footrest here on the far left. Okay, so let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch just about in the center position, right in here. So reach in, you move it to the left. Now this is a heavy hood, so lifting it up with one hand, like I'm doing, is kind of hard, but it does require a prop to hold it up. There's the prop, and put it right there. Okay, so let's check out the engine compartment. Alright, so it has an insulated firewall. The battery is located here under the hood, here in the forward position, easy to get to. Plastic cover covering up part of the engine. See a little bit of engine around the cover there. Then you have a fan that runs off of the pulley system of the engine, so it's not an electric fan. Okay, so it's a 3.5 liter V6 paired to a manual transmission with a hydraulic clutch. And you see the little hydraulic clutch reservoir right here. And then there's your brake reservoir, brake master cylinder. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So you have your power window buttons. The front two power windows are automatic, one touch down and one touch up. Then you have your door lock controls and your side mirror adjustments. You just pick a side by turning it, and then you use it like a little joystick to adjust the side mirrors. Manually adjusted seats here for the driver as well, just like the passenger, except where you have a lumbar adjustment, that big knob. Here to the left of the steering column, you have your cargo bed light, which you can turn on or off, but also turn on with the door. Power inverter, you can turn that on here. Auto high beams, you can turn that feature on or off. And then you have a feature called a clutch start cancel with it, which is very interesting. Haven't seen this in too many trucks. It actually eliminates the need to push the clutch when you start the truck. So that has a couple uses. One is that you can just reach in, put the key in, push the clutch start cancel. Let's go ahead and push that. Once the ignition's on, now I can just reach in without pushing the clutch, and I can start the truck. So that's one handy feature. Another thing is you can use it actually to start the truck while it's in gear if you're in an extreme off-road condition. So in that way it will push you forward, so there's no rolling back on, say, a hill or slippery surfaces, that kind of thing. So it's only for specific situations to actually start it using the starter to propel you forward. That's usually not recommended, and I don't know if Toyota actually recommends that or not, but it is something that you can do using this button. And then you have a tilt and a telescoping steering column. You can lock it in place like so. You have a little storage pocket right in here, put some change or whatever, and it has a removable lining in the bottom, so you can clean it, put it back in. It also is a little bit grippy, so the things in there aren't sliding around. Toyota already mounted a GoPro mount here on the windshield, so that way you can put your GoPro there and record your adventures when you're going off-road or just having a driving camera. Okay, so let's take a look on the inside. Sitting in the driver's seat, I have the seat adjusted. I had the lumbar adjusted nice. The seats are very comfortable, and I like that leather surface that it has with the little bumps in it. Makes it easy to get repositioned and everything. So I have the seat all the way back. Let me double check that. Yep, all the way back. And there's my leg room. I'm 6 feet tall. Just to give you an idea, I probably would have to have the seat almost all the way back, if not completely back, in my particular case, and adjust the steering wheel appropriately, because it does have the telescoping steering wheel. So speaking of the steering wheel, it has a leather wrapping with a smooth leather portion down here. It's actually a leather, traditional leather texture, not completely smooth, but then on the ends you have this dimpled, kind of sporty leather texturing here on the ends, and then it goes back to the standard texture. So it looks pretty cool. Okay, so your cruise control is down in here, and you push the button here to turn it on, and it's not just a regular cruise control. It's actually the adaptive cruise control, or a radar type cruise control. So once you turn it on, the radar is ready, so you can set it, resume it, cancel it, all that stuff. But once it's turned on, you can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you by pushing this button. So when I push that, here on the screen, it's going to show me the distance between me and the vehicle in front of me. Also, you can turn on the radar, the lane departure alert system separately right here. You can turn that on or off. Sometimes it will pick up the road a little bit. Sometimes the lines aren't correct or whatever, and it will give you false alerts or whatever. So that's easy to turn on and off right there. These buttons correspond to that screen, which we'll get to in just a minute. Here on the left side is your volume for your radio. Change through your presets on your radio or your audio tracks, whichever. Voice recognition, your audio source with the mode button. And then down here is your Bluetooth controls for answering and hanging up. Windshield wiper controls are on the right side. Turn signals on the left. It also has your headlight controls. You can actually turn off your daytime running light, put on automatic, parking, and headlights there. Fog lights are controlled right here. Okay, so let's look at the gauges. It has the RPMs there on the left side with the engine coolant temperature. On the right side is your speedometer with your fuel gauge. And here in the center portion is a digital screen which gives you more information. So you have these buttons here, and this is how you kind of go through. So right now it's showing a digital speedometer with a range to empty, or a distance to empty. Your odometer is at the very bottom. At the top it shows the outside temperature, but you notice these little icons right across the top. This is part of a whole menu system. So right now it's in the information screen. So you can see if I scroll left and right, it takes me to another tab. If I scroll down, it gives me more information in the information screen. Right there is pretty interesting. It kind of lets you know when it's time to take a break, I guess, or at least guesses. And then it scrolls to the right. Here's your next screen. Digital compass will show up here, but also your navigation guidance will show up here as well if you have a destination set. Scrolling to the right again. So this will be your radio, which is turned off right now, but once it's on, it'll just show you what's playing and all that, the artist or station or whatever the case may be. Scrolling to the right, your radar system will show up there. Tire pressure will show up here once you start driving. This is your pitch and roll. So as the vehicle goes over uneven surfaces or unlevel surfaces as well, like you're going downhill, uphill, that kind of thing, you can keep an eye on the angle percentage, both right and left, but also forward and back. Right now I'm pretty much on level ground, so there's nothing to see there. Scrolling to the right, stored messages will show up there, and this is where you can go in and change your pre-collision system, which you can turn that feature on or off. Lane departure alert, you can go into your settings here and adjust all kinds of stuff. And then you scroll again back to your original information screen. So just kind of give you an idea of what's in that screen. You don't have to go in and check on all that stuff all the time. It's just there in case you need it. Okay, so here's your touch screen, and has a CD player. That's pretty neat, and soft touch buttons here on the ends. Traditional volume knob, and then you have a tune to the stations knob. Pretty traditional there. People just can't get away from knobs. They just have to have a knob for your volume. It's just so intuitive. Okay, so right now we're in the home screen, so it has a split between your radio, your phone, and your navigation. And let's go to the audio, so we can pick a source here: AM, FM, satellite radio, CD, USB, Bluetooth, auxiliary input. So you can see there's lots of different ways of playing music through the sound system. Let's just choose satellite radio. You have your presets here on the left side. It shows your station and information there. You can adjust your sound, bass, treble, mids, and you can do your balance and fade. And then you can always go back to your audio source. Now you notice some of them are grayed out because they're not available. There's nothing plugged into them right now. Let's go to your apps, and the Intune system requires your cell phone to have it compared to the system, and have the appropriate apps connected and all that stuff. But shows all your different features here. Navigation screen, kind of zoom in and out, give you an idea where you're at. We're on 501 in Myrtle Beach. Actually, let's go ahead and zoom out. We can zoom in and out quite far. There's the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, South Carolina, North Carolina. Here we are in Myrtle Beach. We can set a destination, put in a specific address. We can have a whole address book of saved addresses and places. We can always save our home address and then your favorites there. Let's go to apps. We saw audio, phone. Once you pair a phone, you'll have access to your phone book, recent calls, the ability to send and receive calls using your phone. Also playing music, of course, through the Bluetooth system. Eco, we can see what kind of fuel economy we're getting in this drive computer. Setup, we can go in all kinds of different settings in the system here. We actually get traffic and weather once you pair your cell phone. Maintenance, this is pretty cool. You can keep an eye on and track of the rotation of the tire, the oil filter, the engine oil, and brake pads, wipers, all that stuff. There's your home, and you can seek through your tracks, and then there's a phone button as well. Okay, so your climate controls down here with heated seats here on the front. You have a driver and passenger temperatures. You can change through where you want the air to blow by pushing the mode. Has an automatic feature as well, so you can just set the temperature. So right now it's turned off. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Let's push auto. So you can see we got high. We could set the temperatures. Right now it's synced together. See right here, we can unsync it, so that way the driver can have it separate from the passenger. We can manually adjust it by just turning the fan speed right here. It automatically turns it off automatic when we do that. And then mode shows us where the air is blowing, like so. Then you have your front defroster there. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Your side mirror heaters, you can turn those on right here manually. Four-wheel drive controls. Now it's a two-wheel drive option, so you can have two-wheel drive, and then you can put in four-wheel drive high or four-wheel drive low. Blind spot monitor system, you can turn that on or off here. Same thing with the parking sensors. And there's for your rear glass. I'll show you that in a second. And then your USB and auxiliary inputs are here. And here is a QI wireless charger. And the charging pad is right down here. I'll show you that in a second. I'll actually put a phone there to show you how it works. And 12-volt power supply. Okay, so down here, this is basically a storage compartment, but it does have the wireless charger, so you can use this for storage. You could put change all in there. It's not going to harm anything. But if you want to charge your cell phone, you could just take it. As long as that button's turned on, you could take your phone. Mine's turned off. It could be on or off. It could be in a case or not. Just lay your cell phone there, and it takes a second for the phone to recognize that it's charging, but it will basically charge your phone just by laying it there. And also, it's a rubberized surface so that your cell phone is not going to slide around too much. I took mine out of the case, but it will work with the case. All right. Okay, so the 6-speed manual here is, so you have your speeds here. So you have first, second, all the way up to 6. And you notice the reverse is all the way to the left and up. So what happens is, when you push in the clutch, you push it over. If you push it over to the first stop, it takes quite a bit of effort to push it all the way in the reverse. You don't accidentally put it in reverse easy. So we push it over, it stops right there. We really push it hard. See how, I don't know if you could tell, I'm pushing it quite hard. Then it goes over into reverse. So that eliminates the problem of accidentally putting in reverse when you want first gear. So we push it over here, push it over, and put it in reverse. And when we do that, it gives us a little bit of a beep, letting us know that the parking sensors are on, and the backup camera shows up right here with the guidelines. Drop it down, and it kind of pushes itself back over in the forward gears. So you have first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And it has a contrast stitching in red here on the shifter. The shifter is very comfortable. Okay, so cup holders, and it has an open spot in the center, so you can utilize this space for more than just cups. And with my cell phone, actually fits right here quite nice, even with the case on it. So that's a nice spot. You can also put it right here like so. But I think this is probably the best spot for when it's not charging. So you have a handbrake here, parking brake. Here's your armrest, and it's soft to the touch, kind of like a vinyl material. And this lifts up. Have a little place to put some pins there, and a storage compartment with a 12-volt power supply. Place for wires to go in and out of this compartment right here. Rear view mirror has your home link garage door opener control, auto dimming rear view mirror, which you can turn that feature on or off right here, and a digital compass right there in the rear view mirror. Place to put your shades with a foam backing here as well. So these buttons, you have your traction control, which you can turn off. Now it will automatically turn off when you put it in four-wheel drive low. Now when you put it in four-wheel drive low, you can use your active traction. Now this will only engage at very low speeds with your four-wheel drive low system, and it will actually engage the brake on wheels that do not have traction. So if you have a wheel up in the air spinning, it applies the brake just enough to where it stops that wheel from spinning and transfers the power through the differential to the other wheel, so that way it keeps you moving forward for your front and rear wheels. This is your electronic locking rear differential button right here. Okay, so you have some tap lights. Interior lights you can turn off or on, or turn on with the door. Visors have lights and mirrors. Little clip right in here. Also, the visors extend out quite far. Okay, so let's look at the visibility. There's your dome light there in the center. Let's look at the visibility in the back. Now you notice I have the headrest up to give you an idea of what the visibility looks like without the headrest put down. Now let's go ahead and move the, so you can check out the power wheel glass there. Of course, you have a lot of technology to help out with the blind spot monitor system, the camera, parking sensors, rear cross traffic alert, all that stuff to help you out with backing up. Alright, there you have it, 2018 Toyota Tacoma in the TRD Pro trim level. Really, really nice truck and comfortable. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Sparks Toyota here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I'll see you guys next time.